Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Unfiltered Garage. I think this is episode four for season what three already? Abner?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
something like that. Something like that. I don't keep tracks anymore, dude. So many episodes. So, what's going on, dude? Has been how you been?
I've been doing well, man. I just came back from like a weekday work trip.
Yeah.
It's good. So, you know, getting back
So
into the
into the
swing
grind.
of things. It's hot. It's hot. It's so hot.
700 degrees out there, bro.
It's bananas.
Yeah,
It's
gonna have to get
bananas.
on a motorcycle right now and just ride through the beautiful summer of Miami.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much you're gonna enjoy that.
No, I'm not gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna enjoy it on the way back. I'm just gonna be praying for
Yeah,
rain or something like that.
yeah,
But it is what it is, dude. That's what we do, right? This is a motorcycle club. It's not a cane club. This is what it is, my dude.
yeah.
So listen, last episode was good. We talked about some principles that when we look those principles that are part of the motorcycle culture. When we look at to those principles, man, they're not far from the Bible actually. They're founded in the Bible, and that's what we discuss, right? We're discussing about honor, we're discussing about respect, loyalty, faithfulness. Those old school values are part of who we are as an MC and as an organization, as riders. And we were discussing that those values should lead not only your organization, motorcycle organization, but they should be part of who you are. Right?
Yeah, just as men, and again, right? Just as men, those are values that play a huge part in making, building anything, building
Mm-hmm.
up anything. If you want to build up a team, if you're a coach,
Mm-hmm.
you want to teach your kids that. So these are values that are pretty much universal, and yeah, absolutely right. We find them in the Bible, and they're in there for a reason.
They're in there for a reason, absolutely. So one of the things that we also find in the Bible, in the Bible, and one of the things that we want to discuss in here is we're gonna discuss leadership. But let me set it up. I'm a sport fan. I love sports. I love watching sports. So and whatever is a sports TV shows or sports related documentaries, I like them, man, because there's a story of grinding. There's a story of putting effort, and there's a story of fighting, and never in my and nothing in my life has been hey, this is for you for free. And to the contrary, I have had to work for everything that I have in my life. And one of the things that I was looking, man, I was looking at this the Clubhouse in Netflix. If you haven't watched it, it's about the Boston Red Sox. Um, love them or hate them. It's a good show. And there's a guy. His name is Tristan Casas, and this guy is one of the players. And later, early in the season, 2024, he was like, "Just dude, man, this gonna be my season." He got injured, and now
Uh,
he's in the clubhouse, he's in the bullpen, and he's in there, and but he cannot play, so he doesn't have his turn to the plate in forever, almost when he gets into the playoff. Thing that I
uh,
want to discuss, man, how do you lead when you don't have the when you don't have the title, when you're not when you're not the officer, when you're not the president, and this is something that in every single motorcycle organization you're gonna find that, man. They're like, oh, this is not my position. I don't have a position, and I don't have an official position, so I'm gonna be on the sidelines. But the Bible doesn't call us to be on the sidelines, bro. The Bible calls us to be really active. And if you really love your motorcycle organization, you really love the culture per se, you should move from the sidelines to the forefront, even though you don't have a position. So that is kind of like the setting of what we're discussing, right? And we're just building this from we're not reinventing the wheel, guys. I mean, if we get it, if we ever monetize this, we need to send some money to the kingdom because this is not your idea or my idea. This is
Amen.
God's idea. This is it, and we find this in the book of Nehemiah.
Amen. You know what? And let me just say something real quick. I know that
Yeah, buddy.
you're getting ready to set it up, but I don't believe that there is anything such as the sideline. When you belong to or are part of an organization and you're participating and you have a duty to be active. It doesn't there's no such thing. There should be no such thing as on the sideline. And you don't have to have a title to be part of the machinery. That's a huge misconception. I don't do this because that's somebody else's duty. No, it's your duty. It's everybody's duty. So if you and we'll talk about it a little bit further. There's no waiting. I mean, just if you feel something, if you see something, it's like in the airport. If you see something, say something. Be active.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, man, I absolutely love this because I'm part of a start company. I've always been working for startups for a long time. But one of the things that things that you see in startups is that there's no yeah, there's a job description and there is a responsibility, but you have to be fluid. You have to fill the gaps, right? So that doesn't really apply to only to motorcycle organizations. It applies to your church, man. Like, I mean, you know what I hate? Sidelines Christians. Like, they really bother me. Like, it goes against the Bible. Our sidelines husband. Like, that's not my duty. That's not what I'm supposed to do.
No, not at all.
No, doesn't work like that. God really is expecting more from you and from us, in general speaking. So, Nehemiah, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, it's like, that kid on in the when they didn't have any food and he had something in his little basket. He could have thought, well, it's not my responsibility. It's not going to do much. Let me just not say anything. Let me not do anything. But he came forward, and that was key. That was
Mhm.
key. His coming forward and saying, "Hey, listen, I don't know if it's going to be enough, but I got 5 loaves, 2 fishes. Let's see, can this work?" And that was key to making everybody have a meal and being able to get some doggy bags. So there's no such thing as a sideline and as just not doing anything, waiting it
And
out.
it goes also to those officers that have a pretty defined uh, job description and that by bylaws this is that they say, hey, I see a gap, but I don't want to do anything. I don't want to say something because it is according to the bylaws that's not my responsibility, and I don't want to step on no one's toes. Man, just step on the toes if you want to better your organization. This is time to step on your toes. So let me
Have
give
the
you
conversation at least.
at least. So Nehemiah, he wasn't a prophet or he wasn't a warrior. He was just a servant, man. He was a cupbearer. That's who he was. He didn't have a title, position, or anything like that. He had a job. He has a duty, right? So, but man, he uses Nehemiah to do a major endeavor. I mean, not only he was a project manager, but he was the leader of that project. And Nehemiah, and I believe that this is why it's so close to me because I do kind of some sort of project management now professionally. So, but Nehemiah saw a gap, and not only he built a wall for Jerusalem. He built these people identity. Anna, because these people didn't have identity. They were living in captivity, and they didn't have an identity. When he built the wall, he built their identity at the same time. So it's not just the little, simple task that you see or the simple gap that you see. It's when you fill that gap, when you're connecting some stuff, right? And there's something that is more important. But let's start with some stuff that we see in Nehemiah, man. And Nehemiah have a vision, bro. So Nehemiah, so which is what we're saying here, right? So in a motorcycle culture, man, you don't build. Behind you, you have a motorcycle. It's a beautiful motorcycle, and that motorcycle took you a year to put together. Since the day that you brought it home to the day that you actually rode the motorcycle for the first time, as it is, took you a year. Took you 365 days plus. But you didn't start with, hey, you know what? I want a motorcycle. You started with a vision. You had an idea in your mind. You saw a gap. You saw an opportunity. And leaders are visionaries. So leaders are always looking for ways to better situations. And that's the story of that motorcycle that you have behind you. You saw the Carlinis. You saw the people cannot see the motorcycle that you have behind you, but it's a Cholo Rokin. It's a beautiful Rokin. You saw the 21, you saw the spoke rings, and you saw, the spoke wheels. You saw the whole thing. You saw the chrome. You saw every single piece before actually start buying it. And that is something that is in the motorcycle culture. And spiritually speaking, we're the same way. You wanna gonna I'm just gonna shut up right now. I've been talking too long.
No, you know what? Okay, listen, man. When we talk about Nehemiah, we also have to be very, very clear and very intentional in establishing the following. He had an open heart, and he heard, you know, the anguish of his people. He was sensitive to the needs of others.
Hmm.
And he, you know, he had I want to say the sand, right? He had the grit to pray to God and bring the situation that I believe that God himself sowed into his heart about the situation. So I would, you know, the vision is key, but again, like so many things, it begins in prayer. It begins in an open heart. It begins in communing with our Father and saying, God, what do you want me to do? And there starts this adventure and this great challenge that he had in stepping up and moving forward towards a goal, towards an end, which was to rebuild the walls. So I think it's important for anybody. And we talk about bikes and and our communities and our organizations, but this goes so much farther and so much
Hmm.
deeper because we can apply this to our families.
Hmm.
Sometimes our marriage is maybe the foundation's a little wobbly. Maybe the walls of our household are maybe in ruins. And we need to be open to say, God, how can I fortify this? Give me the vision, give me the idea, put in my heart, what is it that I should be doing? And you know, if you want to fill the blank, whatever it is, maybe it's your job, maybe it's a relation, whatever it is, it's a vision that you need to have that God will sow into your heart
Beautiful,
so that then you can go ahead and then step up and do what needs to be done, right? Get to work. It's a lot of work.
beautiful.
And we're going to talk about this, but Nehemiah put in so much work. But,
It's so
okay.
beautiful what you're saying, man, because you're talking about God sowing something in your heart. The Bible says, delight yourself in the Lord, and He will fulfill the desires of your heart. But when you
Yes, he
delight
will give you
yourself,
the desires of your heart.
but
Yes.
when you delight yourself in the Lord, look what happened. Your
Amen.
desires
Yeah.
are the ones that God is putting in there. So
Mm,
it is pretty natural that this happened, man. You said
yeah.
something that I want to highlight as well. You said that he had compassion. Basically, he saw the suffering, he saw a need, he saw a suffering, and he saw in mo people that are in the sidelines. They're just removed from the and this is silent players. They're there when they're being called, when they're being tasked. You know, but you see, I mean, I see our quarterback. I am a Miami Dolphins fan. Please don't judge me. But when my quarterback last year was injured for a big chunk of the season, that guy was on the sideline. Well, he was the biggest cheerleader that team had. He was calling calls, he was helping the quarterbacks, and that was the need that he could fulfill in there because he felt the pain, right? So it's about. By the way, too, is also a Christian guy, so kudos to him. But that's that is that it is important that you didn't stay like this, but but I want to use this word. You pretty much just said the name. I had compassion. He was moved
Yeah.
to this, and that's important, man. Ambition, vision,
100%.
vision. I
Yes.
can I
Yes.
can tell you, vision start with a hey, with a God put something in your heart, man, and it's so important. And I share with you this morning something beautiful that happened to my little one. In terms of college and that kind of stuff, that didn't start yesterday. That's something that we've been praying for a while. I mean, even since they're little babies. So I 100% agree with this, man, and it's so beautiful. And you can translate that to your motorcycle organization, whether it's Christian or not, to your church, to your family. That's so beautiful, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen,
No, you know, it's one last thing I wanted to say, right? Leaders don't necessarily have to be in the spotlight. You said Tua, right? I'm
yeah,
not so Tua was watching. He was on the sideline.
get it right, brother.
He didn't have he wasn't in the action, the thick of it, but he inserted himself from where he was. So you don't have to be in the forefront. You don't have to be in the mix to be able to participate and to support, right? That support was probably key in many wins because
Absolutely.
helping. So again, you don't have to think about, oh, but I don't have the patch. I don't have I'm not the one in the front of the line. I'm not, no, but that doesn't mean that you're less important. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You can be as important wherever you are as long as you have the heart to be there for your people and supporting them, lifting them up, raising them up. Go ahead, brother
Absolutely.
man. Let's keep it moving.
Dude, we can talk about the point number one for hours,
There's
bro.
so
So
this
many
is
things.
and this is our thing. We could break this up in how many ever chunks. I was
Absolutely.
listening
You
to a
know what?
joke.
No
We
one
can
is
cut it
rushing.
up like Subway. We can
Yeah.
have an hour later,
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it
No one
is
is
what it
rushing.
is. Yeah.
Yo, leaders are planners, man. And what this is one of the things that one of the misconceptions that I see in the Christian faith, by the way, not blaming anyone in here. We think that planning is a lack of faith, and that is a misconception. Faith is an ignoring planning. It's planning with trust. It's something that I was kind of when I was writing the notes, is that faith is not ignoring planning, it's just planning with trust. It's just like I'm planning because I know that God is going to do this. Any road captain in the world knows that you plan the route, you plan the stops, you ask your guys, hey, how much how many gallons of gas do you
How
take? How
many
many
sports do we have? How many sports do we have? 1 gallon
yeah.
sports? How
That's
many do
gotta
we
be a
have?
funny one. How many of these we have? That is the kind of stuff that you really have to plan. Leaders are planners. Leaders, they really not only they see the vision, but they plan. So we see Nehemiah 2.6, 2:6 it says that he asked the kings for letters, supplies, and permission. He had a plan, man, not just a prayer, and that's important because I believe that a lot of us we haven't been blessed the way that we haven't been blessed. That God wants to bless us because if God were to give you $1 million right now or 10 million, because $1 million is nothing now nowadays. But if God were to give you
I'll
10
take
million,
it.
I'll take it too, man. I'll spend it in 3 minutes. I just execute my shopping carts. But hey, but if God were to give you, hey, I want to bless you. What are you gonna do with my blessings? That is gonna be the vast majority of our answers. So leaders are planners. Don't come with an idea, come with a plan. If you want to talk to your table, you want to talk to your press, you want to talk to your VP, you want to talk to anyone at the table, you have an idea. Don't come with an idea, bro. Come with a plan. Come with something executable. Come with something that you can roll with it already. Don't come with just, hey, by the way, how about we do this? No, bro. Like, I mean, and I'm going to give you an example. I mean, for the longest time, hey, we want to do the Dickie shirts that I told you. Hey, we're gonna do the Dickie shirt. Where are we gonna do it? How much is it gonna cost? Can we do this? Can we do that? What kind of material we're gonna use? That is important. That is extremely important, and that's something that God uses. Okay, so just gonna be quiet.
Yeah. You know what? I truly believe that when you are ill prepared and you don't have a plan or, a structure, you delay the blessings that God has for you.
Mhm.
Because why would he give it to you if you're not ready for action? So definitely planning is not necessarily a lack of faith, like you say. Those people that say, well, let's just spitball it and let's throw let's throw something against the wall and see what sticks. Well, that is not only irresponsible, but really, are you setting yourself up for a win or are you setting yourself up for failure? So definitely you want to plan. You want to make sure that you have that vision that you have, whatever God has put in your heart, that you go ahead and you make something that's going to be a principle, right? That foundation. And this is for a lot of the people that say, well, I feel that, God is calling us to do something, and they don't honor that idea that God has put in their heart with a plan. And they want to move forward with, Hail Mary. And that doesn't work because now what you have done is a really good, perhaps a godly idea, and you have been a irresponsible servant. And you just say, well, let's wing it. And then when it falls apart, you blame, oh, well, God didn't help me, or God, why God did you put this in my heart and you didn't make it happen? Well, because He put it in your heart, but you're supposed to pray, you're supposed to prepare, you're supposed to go out there. And if you don't know, well, then you talk to people that do know. This is why so many people that feel, oh, well, I feel that God is calling me to do something. Well, first of all, maybe God is calling you to do something, but you don't have to start over. And we've talked about this multiple times. God is calling you to do ministry. He's calling you to ride for Him. Who can I ride with? Maybe there's some groups out there. Maybe there's some ministries. Maybe there's some organizations. Let me do my homework. Let me invest. If you really appreciate and take that calling seriously, well, then you will do just that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people they think they figure out, nah, let's just slap a patch and let's go with it and let's
Mm-hmm.
see what happens. That is the way that you run into situations, you run into problems, you run into learning lessons that you don't necessarily have to do. I love that Nehemiah, he went, he made the king's blessing. He made sure that he had materials, he had plans. The king asked him, so what's the problem? He saw him in a way, and he prayed before having the conversation with the king. And he asked for wisdom and said, God, let me know. Give me the wisdom to talk to my king and have me know what to say. That is something that Nehemiah was spot on. You want to
Mm-hmm.
do something, pray, ask for guidance. And that way, when you have to have conversations with key people, you will know what to say and you will walk away with the authority, with the blessing, with the opportunities, with open doors. And now things will start moving along smoother. Not perfectly. We're going to go into that in a minute. It doesn't mean that because you planned, it's going to go as you planned, but you're prepared. You're not winging it. You're not
Mm-hmm.
flying by night to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So you plan and then you'll see with that blessing, with the planning, that you're going to be able to move forward and hopefully it'll be better than not.
Leaders have a plan. Sidelines Christians have good intentions, and the graveyard is full of good intentions. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
let's.
Who was it that I think it was Denzel Washington said that, what is it? Goals without plans are just dreams.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
daydream if
They're
you
the
don't have
dream.
a plan.
Yeah. And it's silence Christians are like that. So listen, something else that you need the right people, buddy. And leaders know how to
Talk about
recognize
it.
the right people. Uh,
Talk about it.
listen, dude, I can tell you, I have brothers in my organization that if I tell them, hey man, I need you to organize this event, they're just gonna die. They're not gonna do it. They're not gonna be good at it because that's not their expertise or that is not their heart. But if they tell them, hey man, I need you to handle this issue, they will handle that issue like there is not tomorrow because they have been built for that, right? So we don't the best leaders know how to recognize their people and the best organizations are the organizations that know how to not only recruit but they know how to put the right talent in the right place, right? So you see a football team that has been successful is not that they have more talent than others, is that they have the right talent at the right place. Graham used to say the following: there's not wrong people in your church, it's just misplaced. And the churches, in your organizations, they're not wrong, they're just misplaced, and everybody is good for something. So part of leadership is recognizing that and recognizing that A, you cannot do it solo, you cannot do it alone. This is why it's so important that if you have a plan and you have a vision, you have a plan, bring it to the table because those brothers are going to get a they're going to get into working with you, right? So that's something that is extremely important. And we see it in Nehemiah. He had a chapter where he's listing everybody that helped him. He has no problem with that, man. Do understand that delegating is important. It's part of being a leader. And there's certain stuff that you don't have to be involved, but you can lead. You can cast the vision. You can cast the plan, and people execute for you. So yeah, that's something that to me is extremely important.
Definitely. You know what? It's not the Gonzo show. right? It's not the, where you have just one person and, oh well, because I'm the leader, or God gave me this vision. That
Hmm.
doesn't mean anything. He gave you the vision so that you could execute it. And for that, you have people and other members, other brothers and sisters of your organization. And leaders develop other people, right? We don't, you know, we had that great seminar at church. It wasn't a seminar, but it wasn't a preaching, that teaching. And, leaders don't come ready-made. You develop them, and leaders need to be developed in the process. So as a leader, if God has given you this vision, pray that he also gives you the ability to know how to use the tools that he gives you. And everybody is there for a purpose, for a reason. Not everybody's a quarterback. I'm not a sports guy, but I know that you can't have a team full of quarterbacks or linebackers or whatever else there is in the team. I really don't know.
It's so weird.
But
Stop quoting using football
yeah,
references, please.
yeah, right.
It looks weird.
But
You start references like it
in a
doesn't
in a
come natural.
in a toolbox, you will
There
have
you go.
a whole bunch of tools.
Yeah, yeah,
And the
yeah.
more tools you have, I got a secret for you. And this is going to be your opportunity. Father's Day is coming right there.
It is coming.
Ask
Here,
for
here.
tools. Ask for tools. When you're working on your bike, in your house, whatever it is, anything that you're trying to fix, it will be 10 times easier if you have the right tools to do it. Anybody that has tried to fix a car with a pair of pliers, a screwdriver, and a hammer knows that sooner or later you're going to break something. You're going to strip something, right? You're going to bang up your hands. Ozzy's laughing because he's probably tried to do just that on his bike. So
So many times,
get,
dude. Uh,
I know, I know,
See what happened
get,
with
I know. Yeah, you told me. You almost burn all your wiring.
the VCM, bro.
Get the right tools.
Get the right tools.
Not using the right tools will make whatever your end goal is, your end goal, it's going to take it and it's going to extend that end game. It's just going to, and you're thinking to yourself, but why can't I just get it done? You can't get it done because you're not using the right
Tools.
tools, the right people. So don't be too smart for your own good. Don't stop trying to be in control of everything, and share the load. I hope that you all get interested. If you haven't read the book of Nehemiah, it's only 13 chapters, if
13
I'm not
chapters.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Read it, read it. You will really see the value, and you will learn so much about how to lead and how to achieve something that probably might have been seen as unsurmountable. People thought that he was crazy. What are you doing? Burnt to a crisp, tore down, tore up from the floor up. And they thought he needed a checkup from the neck up because it was something that it was crazy. But he was so spot on. And this was God giving him the wisdom to move along and to put the people in the right places so that he could achieve it. So just to say this, pray and be open, and allow your people to help develop them. You may have people that are great. They don't have the initiative. Well, then go and try to help them. Try to help them, show them, coach them, and challenge them to step up. And I promise you, you will be surprised at how fast your organization, your church, your team, whatever it is, will grow, and you'll see great things happening because you have allowed other people to help you in that endeavor.
That's awesome, dude. A parenthesis in here. I'm reading a book. It's called The Decision Maker. And it's building an organization, some decision making people. And something that it says is that they did a study. And one of the most fun games for kids, for males, is basketball. Because basketball is pretty. it has something that's pretty rewarding right away, which is when you go do free shot. Um, it, even if you miss the free shot, just having the ball and attempt to do the free shot is a lot of fun. It brings a lot of endorphins on the little kids. And they were saying that people do not know, they don't need to know where to shoot, right? Like you tell them, hey, you're gonna that way, but give them the ball, let them play, give them the ball, let them play, let them make a play because people love that. And it goes with what you're saying. Hey, listen, if you're a leader, you need to expect opposition. Brother, if God have given you a vision, God have gave you a plan, God have gave you the right people. Now the next thing that you're gonna have to understand is that you're gonna have opposition. Nothing worth doing is easy to do. It's pretty simple, bro. And we see in Nehemiah. Nehemiah start hearing, people coming to him and say, "Hey, dude, by the way, this is gonna happen. I kind of tell you, right now we're in a we're just working in an event, bro, that I know is gonna bless a lot of people. And for the love of God, uh, has been so difficult to get the support of the community. And it's a beautiful event. We did it last year, but this year has been difficult. And I'm believing that we're gonna bless so many people. That's what we need to do. So what we need to do is just keep on working. So we see it in Nehemiah. Nehemiah stayed in vision. He's staying on his mission, but he put someone to protect the wall because what he was hearing is that, hey, we're gonna come to destroy the wall. Nehemiah didn't stop the work; he kept on working, but with with some lookouts. So that's what he was doing, and that's something that we can translate, man. If you have a position in your motorcycle organization, you're doing something right. You're moving forward. There's something that you're doing that's right. Don't look at a position as don't look at opposition with the lens of pity. Look at a position with the lens of the devil's scared. We're doing something. We're moving forward. Something's happening here. More often than one, we get scared. No, dude, he is more scared than us. The devil's more scared than us. And so this is the time where you double up with your actions and you double up with prayer and you double up with people and you keep on moving, but you put some people, some lookouts to watch what you're doing. So
10:10 that the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. When we're talking about our organizations, and this, I want you guys to understand, we're talking about motorcycles in our community, our organizations, but I want those people that are listening that fill the blank, whatever it is. Maybe you're trying to work your marriage. And I talk about marriages a lot because I still to this day have to fight tooth and nail for it. Because the enemy comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. And that is the vision that God has for you and your family, your household, your church, your organization. You fill the blank, whatever it is. The enemy's not trying to help you. He's not trying to leave you be and let you go ahead and fulfill the purpose that God
not at
has
all.
for you. Okay. So Nehemiah knew this and he heard the rumors. He heard the mockery. He heard the people talking. He did not stop. He did not quit it. He didn't say, well, you know what? Maybe sometime, some other time when we have more
It's not
support.
from God.
Not at all. Maybe this isn't from God. The doubt. He didn't give into that. He knew in his heart because he was communing with his father. He knew that this is what God had in mind. He knew that this was a godly venture. Now, how secure or how ready are you to fight for your blessing, to fight for your family, and I say fight because they were working with one hand, they were working, and with the other hand, they had the sword. They were ready. We're not, this is this, and I'm not advocating for violence because
No, no, no.
I'm
It's
that's not
understood.
the
That's not,
case.
not the case.
But we need to be ready to do battle, spiritual warfare. We're talking prayer.
Yeah, yeah.
We're talking speaking life into one another in our organization. Sometimes it comes to a point where you see what you have worked so hard for almost to the point of crumbling. And are you going to take that lightly, and are you going to just roll over and allow the enemy of our souls to kill to steal, to destroy, not at all. So you go on your knees. If you need to pray, pray. If you need to fast, fast. Call your people together and go to war, spiritually speaking, and be ready to defend with everything you have the vision that God has given you, God has deposited in your hands to do. Nehemiah he was 1,000% invested. And just like Ozzy was saying, he had people watching. He said, he assigned his people. This is something that we need to put on the table and talk about it. If we allow this to go kind of like, oh, well, we don't want to talk about it because, we don't want to call people out. We don't want to bring negative attention. We don't want to, a lot of people, we don't want to glorify the enemy because,
No, no, no.
no, 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 no. The enemy is who he is. And DMX said something really interesting. He says, I don't worry about this person, that person, or whoever because I know who they are. A snake is a snake, and if you know that they're a snake, you're gonna know that they're gonna do what a snake does. So we have to be very mindful and just know that when we have opposition, when we have challenges, we have to pray harder, we have to work harder, and we have to not ignore these machinations. We can't ignore the machinery going on because that would be irresponsible of us. If Nehemiah had just forgotten and said, you know what, let's ignore them, they'll go away, they would have caught them with their pants
Yeah,
down
yeah, yeah,
and they would have
yeah.
just, they would have left the door open for
So important
calamity.
that, bro, because you don't ignore a position, right? Like,
Not at all.
bro, this is so much. Think that this is the time that I hear you. Wiser, you need to go to Guantanamo from time to time. You come back on fire, buddy.
Well, this is what happens is that I love this story
It's beautiful,
because
isn't it?
it's such a, and right, to know that what he was raising was the walls and the defenses of Jerusalem,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Which is so important.
But to me, yeah, there wasn't the defenses, but to me, it's the identity that he brought to the
Of
people of Israel,
course.
man. Like
Yeah.
it was so beautiful. That's so beautiful because the byproduct. I think that leaders we have we and good leaders. I think we don't see the talking about legacy, right? We don't see the legacy behind, but there's legacy that we're building, and he built a legacy, man. Not only walls, he built a legacy. So that's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Listen, leaders are, and this is the point that you advise people and this is kind of like the last point of the discussion. Leaders, they choose character over comfort. Yeah,
Yeah.
in motorcycle culture, bro, you say you're gonna go, you're gonna go. You say you're gonna show them too, you're gonna show them too. No, it's too hot, 700 degrees out there. Right, buddy, you have to. This is character. This is character is choosing to do the right thing even when people are not seeing at us, right? Because it's the right team. And man, it wasn't easy for him. The road is not always going to be smooth, guys. When you're trying to build something, when you're trying to build something that is everlasting, character needs to come to play because there are going to come moments where you're going to say, "I'm tired and done. I don't know if this is worth it. Somebody else should take it. I built it this much. This far has I've been with you guys. And you're going to have the tendency to say, you know what, bro? That's it. I mean, I did my part already. That's it. That's that. I'm giving you all. Um, but character doesn't say that. Character says, let's see it done. Character says, I am committed to this. Character says, I am going to build it. And we see that in Nehemiah. Nehemiah says, as you know, 5 when the community was accusing him, because trust me, if you're a leader, you're gonna have sidelines Christians that are gonna accuse you. You're gonna have sideline brothers that are gonna point fingers at you. Man, you need to keep on going. You need to keep on going. You need to keep on going. Do understand that it's gonna get tough, but you need to keep on going, and you need to see it done.
Um, to that, all I can tell you is the following, and I don't want to say all. I'm going to probably talk a lot. Um, it boils down to the following: do you believe what God has called you to do? Do you believe that the vision that you're running with for the community, again, fill the blank, your marriage,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, if you believe this to be a gift from God and that He has ordained you to do this. He has put this in your heart. He has given you the authority. He's given you the permission slips. He has opened doors for you. Do you believe him to be a liar or a truth teller? If you believe him to be a truth teller, then you won't give up until it's done,
Mm.
until it's completed, until it's been restored.
Mm-hmm. Bro, and it's so epic what you're saying because who do you trust? Do you trust the opposition? Do you trust your strength? By the way, leaders they decide to character is doing stuff even when you don't have it in you, when you don't have what it takes. This is what when the Bible says, "I can do everything through Christ who strengthens me." It is. It doesn't say Christ is gonna do everything for me. It says I can do everything through Christ. When things get tough in your motorcycle organization, on your chapter, man, it's gonna. If you want to do a blessing of the bike, and man, you do it. You keep on going. It's gonna get hard, and they're gonna close doors. And especially Christian motorcycle organizations, they slam the doors in our faces pretty often. One more often
All
than
the
we're not
time.
all the
All the
time.
time.
But that doesn't that is a good that's a sign that you need to keep on pushing and bring character into this, man. I saw you doing man, I don't know how many times we went to flip burgers and it was you and I and I think it might be that why I hate burgers so much. I don't hate burgers anymore. But man, we did it, didn't we?
It's part of the job. It's part of the task. And I get emotional when I think about this because it's so people give up so easily. They throw in the towel and they tend to say, well, you know what, it wasn't, it wasn't in the cards. They make up excuses. Maybe God didn't really want it. And and you know what? When people think like that, when faith-based people that call themselves Christ followers, say those things like, well, you know what, maybe this wasn't what God wanted. Well, then, you're really saying God lied to me. God told me something that wasn't true. He put something in my heart that he shouldn't have. And that's not the God that I serve. It's easy to say and to blame situations and people and whatever. And it's way harder to say, you know what? It's a little bit harder than what I thought. That's not anybody's fault but my own because I thought that it was going to be easy peasy. I thought that it was going to be a paved road. Many of the people that came before us, like Marty Edwards, or what are the names of the brothers of your
The brothers
organization? The
Galvin brothers.
the Galvin, all these people that paved the way. They listened to God's words. They ran with the vision that the Lord put in their hearts. Do we think that it was easy? That it was, without opposition? Of course not. But they paved the way. They put in the work. And now we're in a position to do the same for the next, to prepare the way for the next 50 years. We're gonna say, nah, well, maybe, maybe it's not for me. Maybe I thought, no, you know what it is? It's just you're not willing to do the work.
Hmm.
And that's where we need to double down in prayer and fasting and having those conversations. Talk to your leaders. If you feel that way, don't take it with you. Don't cry into a pillow. Go ahead, have the conversation. Talk to somebody and say, listen, man, it's a, it's getting rough. Tell me, how can I go about this? I'm sure that somebody's going to be able to tell you, don't worry about it. I've seen this movie. I saw this movie.
Hmm.
It's not like you see in it. It's not how it is. It's a hump. You're right there. There's so many illustrations about this. It's like the dude trying to find a diamond and he's picking and he's picking and he's picking. He's going at it with the pickaxe and he's right there, right next to it, and he gives up. All he needed to do was hit it a couple more times with the shovel, with the pickaxe, and bing, he would have hit the pay dirt. But that's what the enemy wants. The enemy wants you to give up. He wants you to stop. He wants you to be inactive. He wants you to sit on the sideline. He wants to see that organization. He wants to see your marriage. He wants to see your family. He wants to see your business. Whatever it is, he wants to see it laid to waste in the dust. And you crying over that. So character over comfort plays a huge part,
It's
right?
extremely important, bro. It's I
So
mean, and it's the art of not giving up when things get tough. So it's that. And it's it's pretty beautiful. Dude, listen, Nehemiah wasn't just building stones and wall stones. He was building legacy, and that's the kind of leadership that we need to do in 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 the MC culture, man, and in the walk of our faith. Uh, don't wait for crisis to lead, man, and start building now. This is your opportunity. Don't be reactive, be proactive, right? So that's something that we see in leadership, and it's important for us. And this is kind of like in closing. It's important for us to you say yes to the patch. You say yes. You did a pledge. If you join a motorcycle ministry, you did a you said to the brothers, you prospected, you put in the time. The work doesn't end when you put patches. Actually, that's when the real work starts. So don't be those guys. Don't be the guy that oh my God, I'm done with this. No, 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 dude. This is the time for you to hold out. This is the time for you to. The patch is something that you earn every single day, and we see in the book of Nehemiah a couple hints, several hints that can help you develop yourself as a leader. You don't need a tab. You don't need something that says officer. You don't need something that says PVP. You don't need any of that. You have already the authority that your club gave you, your motorcycle organization gave you when they gave you the patch, right? Church, you have the authority that already God gave you to do that. At home, you have that authority. You don't have to be ordained to pick up paper from the floor when you see that somebody dropped something on your church, man. You don't need something at your household say, hey, you're the husband, you're supposed to do this. You don't need any of that. What you need is to start doing it, to start acting up on it, and to want it, right? So stop being a silent Christian, stop being a silent brother, which is not helping no one. Close
The Bible says that we are called to be head and not tail.
yes.
And when we talk about that, everybody wants to be a leader. To be a leader amongst men, you have to do what you say you're going to do.
Hmm.
When you accept to run with God's vision, when you accept and you say yes to a marriage, when you have a family, when you have accept a position in a job, people depend on you. People's livelihoods
They're
depend
relying
on
on
you.
you, yeah.
Maybe you're in a position of management, and your decisions, your steadfast attitude may be the difference between closing the doors of your business or not. We are called to be head and not tail. Um, and for that, we have to be able to be mindful and listen to the voice of God and look for direction. So, like Ozzy was saying, you don't need a position. We're talking about, we talk leadership, but leadership is, roles, they come and go, but your character, your position in the kingdom, in your organization, and I don't even talk about organizations because it is what it is. I want to talk about your position in life. God has called you to be a man or a woman of principle, of character. So be that and do the hard work, even when it's easier to quit, even when it's easier to expect others to take
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
load. You
Hmm.
do it.
You do
Be
it.
that person. Be the person that when somebody needs something, you're already there, you already know, and you're already doing it. Somebody comes and says, oh, we need somebody to take care of this. That's already done. It's already done, chief. I already took care of it, right? Be that person and you will see not only the benefit will be for your organization, for your work, for your, whatever it is, fill the blank, but it will be for you because God will then promote you and you will go from, position to position. Don't be looking positions, look for opportunities to serve, to be of service, to make a difference. Be a Nehemiah, right? Have an open heart and allow God to speak to you and do what God tells you to do. And you will see that just like Nehemiah, he was able to do great things. You too will be able to do great things for the glory of our Father. So there you go. This is a great topic and we could probably keep on talking about it and who knows?
Forever.
Maybe
I'm gonna
maybe
be
we
sending
won't.
this. Yeah, I'm gonna be sending this to my to the guys in my connect group. We're gonna start a Bible study in the book of Nehemiah. So I'm gonna say, hey guys, I want you to listen to this episode because it's gonna help them. Guys, thank you so much for the time. Once again, guys, whatever topic, and I'm gonna put it out there on Instagram, whatever topic you guys want for us to discuss. We have so many things that we want to talk, but we want to talk what you guys want to hear, right?
It could be whatever it is. It doesn't have to be about bikes. It doesn't have to be about organizations, whatever you want to talk about. Even, yeah, I'll study a little bit about sports just in case.
Just in case. That was so weird. You're referencing linebackers.
I don't know what even it is, but I know it
Exactly.
exists. I know it exists.
That's my point precisely. So guys, be blessed. Be blessed. Have a great time. And Abner, talk to you in the next one.
Yes, sir. Be blessed, fam. I love you guys.
Love you guys.